The hall was buzzing with anticipation, a blend of sterile excitement and a tension of ambition. It was the grand piano audition, held in a towering complex of glass and steel that floated above the city like a shard of light. Competitors from across the planet had arrived, some hailed as prodigies, others boasting credentials that shimmered like digital badges on the sleek panels lining the walls. And yet, in the midst of this formidable crowd, there was a woman who drew attention not for her skill, nor her prestige, but for her simplicity. Her name was Lila. She wore plain clothing, nothing ornate or eye-catching, and carried no holographic devices to announce her accomplishments. Her hair, tied back carelessly, suggested a life lived with practicality rather than performance. Many of the other contestants smirked as she walked past, whispering under their breaths, exchanging glances that spoke of disbelief. How could someone so ordinary hope to compete in a space that was reserved for exceptional talent? The judges sat on elevated chairs, their eyes scanning each competitor as they took their place before the grand piano. Some of them were humans, others beings from far-flung colonies, their appearances varying wildly due to the differing evolutionary paths on distant worlds. The audience filled the tiered seating, their faces illuminated by the soft glow of the auditorium's lights. And a hush fell over the crowd as the first few competitors began to play. The opening performers were technical marvels. Fingers danced over keys with precision that seemed almost mechanical. Notes soared through the hall, reverberating against the walls and ceiling, creating a sensation of immersion, as if the music itself were a living entity. Yet, despite their technical mastery, there was an air of coldness, a distance that left some in the audience admiring skill, but untouched by emotion. Then it was Lila's turn. A ripple of quiet laughter passed through the audience, subtle but unmistakable. Some leaned over to whisper to each other, speculating about what she might play, clearly expecting a mishap. She approached the piano without hesitation, her posture relaxed yet purposeful, and settled herself on the bench. Her hands hovered above the keys, not in nervous anticipation, but with a sense of intimate familiarity, as if they already knew the language of the instrument by heart. The first note sounded dot. It was soft, tentative almost, yet it carried an unusual resonance that drew the audience's attention immediately. The laughter stopped. Fingers glided over the keys with a grace that seemed effortless, each note flowing into the next, like a river finding its path through a canyon. What she played was not the rapid, intricate sequences favored by many virtuosos, but a melody that seemed to rise from somewhere deep within her, a song that spoke of memory, longing, and quiet courage. The audience leaned in, unable to look away. Even the judges, trained to evaluate technique above all else, felt their focus shifting. There was a story in every phrase, an undercurrent of human emotion that transcended the limitations of sound. Some noted that her music seemed to bend the space itself. Subtle vibrations interacted with the hall's structure, creating moments of harmonic resonance that caused soft murmurs of astonishment. It was as if the piano had become a conduit for something far greater than mere performance. Lila's eyes were closed, yet she played with awareness. Each chord, each flourish was deliberate, as if she were conversing with the piano and not simply commanding it. The melody shifted in tone, from quiet melancholy to soaring joy, to moments of tension that held the audience suspended in collective breath. Even the technologically enhanced beings in attendance, capable of perceiving multiple frequencies and subtle sonic textures, were caught off guard by the organic complexity of her performance. A judge, an elderly human with decades of experience, whispered to his colleague, "I've never felt a piece move like this. It's alive." Others nodded, their expressions a mixture of awe and disbelief. Some of the younger competitors turned pale, realizing that the mocking smirks they had shared moments ago were now replaced with an uncomfortable awareness. The simplicity they had assumed in Lila's appearance was deceptive. She was not ordinary, not in skill, not in vision. Time passed differently in that hall. A piece that might have lasted only a few minutes seemed to stretch, each note carving an indelible impression on the minds of listeners. Lila's music seemed to create a dialogue between her and the universe itself. There were moments when the sound expanded beyond the piano, subtle ripples affecting the atmosphere, vibrating in the air, and touching the audience in ways they could not name. She concluded with a delicate cadence that seemed almost fragile, yet resonated with a strength that lingered long after the last note faded. For a heartbeat, there was silence, a stillness that felt sacred, before the hall erupted in spontaneous applause. The sound was deafening, a wave of recognition that washed over her, carrying admiration, astonishment, and newfound respect. The judges rose, visibly moved. They consulted briefly, their discussions quiet, but their expressions spoke volumes. Lila's performance had defied conventions, challenged expectations, and in doing so, had left an indelible mark on all who had witnessed it. One of the judges, a being from a colony on a planet of extreme gravitational forces, spoke into a translator. "This is not just skill. This is humanity's voice. It carries something no machine, no alien, no calculated algorithm could replicate." Another judge, a human with years of observing interstellar talent, nodded. "It is the essence of HFY, human creativity, resilience, and depth. She has reminded us why we are remarkable." Backstage, competitors who had once mocked Lila now looked at her with a mixture of admiration and unease. Some approached hesitantly, offering words of congratulations. They felt awkward but sincere. A few lingered in silence, grappling with a sudden awareness of the gap between technical mastery and profound artistry. Lila accepted their gestures with quiet humility, acknowledging their words without pride, as if the music had already expressed everything necessary. As she stepped away from the piano, Lila felt a strange warmth, a connection not just with the instrument, but with something larger than herself. She had tapped into the unique essence of humanity's potential, demonstrating that even in a universe filled with wonders and advanced beings, there was a power in simplicity, in authenticity, and in courage. Outside the hall, the cityscape stretched endlessly, a tapestry of technology and civilization. Lila walked through it calmly, her mind still echoing with the notes she had played. People passed her by, many unaware of the extraordinary event that had just transpired. But a few glanced at her with newfound curiosity, sensing that something remarkable had occurred. Over the following days, news of her performance spread across planets and colonies, transmitted through communication networks and social channels. Analysts, critics, and enthusiasts debated the implications of her music. Some tried to analyze it mathematically, breaking down the frequencies and harmonics. Yet all admitted that the experience could not be quantified, only felt. Lila herself remained unaffected by the attention. She continued her life with the same simplicity, practicing quietly, exploring new compositions, and observing the world with the steady, unassuming presence that had always defined her. Yet, wherever she went, there was a subtle shift in perception. People began to recognize that greatness could emerge from unexpected places, that human potential was not confined to appearances or reputations. In the months that followed, many aspiring musicians sought her guidance, hoping to understand not just the mechanics of her performance, but the depth of her approach to music. Lila shared what she could, emphasizing listening, feeling, and connection rather than competition or display. Her teachings resonated widely, spreading beyond the immediate world of music into broader human culture. Scientists began to study her methods as well. They discovered that the subtle vibrations she had created interacted with neural pathways in ways that enhanced emotional perception and cognitive insight. Her music became a bridge between art and science, demonstrating that human creativity could generate phenomena that technology alone could not replicate. Even interstellar audiences were affected. Beings from distant planets, who had long relied on logic and calculated approaches to their arts, found themselves challenged by the simplicity and power of her compositions. It sparked discussions about the uniqueness of human cognition, the value of intuition, and the capacity for emotion to shape reality in subtle but profound ways. Through it all, Leela remained a figure of quiet humility. She continued to play, not for fame or recognition, but for the sheer wonder of expression. Every note she touched carried a piece of human essence, a reminder that even in a vast universe of complexity and achievement, the simple, sincere, and heartfelt could inspire awe and admiration beyond measure. And in every hall, every floating city, and every listening ear touched by her music, people were reminded of a fundamental truth. Humanity was remarkable not because of technology or accolades or appearances, but because of the courage to create, to connect, and to express the boundless potential within. When Leela played, the universe listened, and even the most advanced beings could not help but recognize the extraordinary capacity of a human soul. It was a testament to the enduring power of HFY, a legacy not written in code or matching,